This is why it drives me nuts, Tina, when I see people at the gym training slowly.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, don't train slow. You'll go slow.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
ha-
remember that whole movement towards slow? Like it was even called a thing. It was in LA. It was all
yeah.
this. I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
These people were telling me that you only need to work out one time a week and you just do everything super slow. And I was like, you know what? I have too much ADHD for that. Thank you. No,
Yeah.
I actually work out so that I'm not a psycho and that my brain works. And I need that to happen. I need that BDNF or whatever all's happening
Yeah.
multiple times a week. So otherwise
Yeah.
I can't be high functioning. So there's
Which,
no
speaking of
one time a week.
BDNF, that's where that now you could get this with resistance training, and I actually will do some of this sometimes. I call it high intensity functional training, but that's where that hit comes in. That's so great. It's just
Yeah.
getting that lactate up,
Yeah.
getting it. But I think we should be moving. I remember back in the day, we designed exercise programs very specifically that you had to have your rest days, your recovery days, and I don't use those anymore. I listen to my body if it says, hey, like knock it off. You need to but that rest day would be a long walk, or it would be some yoga. It wouldn't just be don't move. I think we need to move every day.
Yeah, you move every day. I know. I've been with you and you are up and at 'em and doing it every day. And I think that's why you look 20 years younger than you are. So it's working. Keep it up. I think just getting a little sweat on, and for those folks listening who have a lot of orthopedic issues or every day's too much, because like for me, if I do, I'll walk for sure, but
Right.
I
But
am
that's what
not.
I mean. Walking could be it. It could
Yeah,
be a yoga. It's something.
I
You're
can't.
moving.
The activity level you have would trash my adrenals. So I have to take a little bit different route. But I will say adding in, I like to use, like I have a power plate. I like to use that to do maybe a little mini strength training workout. I might do some mobility inside the sauna because then we're getting that like
Nice.
exercise. But in both cases, the vibration and then the heat is like an exercise mimetic. It's not a
Yeah.
replacement, but I can kind of like stack and double dip if I will, so I can, because I have some pretty trashed adrenals, and I have a lot of pain. But anyway, if I don't move though, I hurt. So there's like this fine line of, do you not move and you hurt, or you move too much and you hurt? So like, where do you find that middle spot? And I think that's just different for everyone, but you don't know until you try. And there's no version of this where it's going to get any easier, or you're going to get stronger and looser as you age. You're just going to get tighter and weaker. So that's all I think about is like, this is not going to be better if I put it off till tomorrow, like there's no better time than now. And
well, there's I hurt because I overdid it.
Yeah.
Or I'm just working out way too hard. But I don't think most people, I think most of us, we're hurt because we're not moving.
Totally.
And that's when I heard of having all these orthopedic problems from doing dumb things as a kid, they would hurt when I didn't move.
Yeah, for sure. Or they get all stuck together and glommy. Yeah. I know, I don't get it. I do. I mean, I guess I could understand. I've been in a place before where I was in so much pain, and mine's immunologically driven. So it's like a different kind of crazy, and people who know, but, you just end up on the couch flat on your back for days on end in just such acute, horrific pain. I told you last week I had a flare and I ended up I had to take a little bit of a steroid but you know why I took it? So I could start moving. I looked at my husband and I said, dude, I got to take something. I cannot get out of this. Nothing was touching it. Ibuprofen, Tylenol, nothing was touching it. And I said, I'm going to take a little steroid so I can get moving. And the minute it kicked in, I was on the floor doing as much rehab movements as I could. I was planking. I was, bird dog, all those things. I was doing some push-ups. I was getting some air squats, just what I could do, but I needed a little help to get there. And I think that, anyway, my point being is like, don't ever stop moving, and move as soon as you can if you are coming out of pain. Like don't ever delay it, because it's the fast track to healing and getting over the hump.
Yeah, it was interesting. I told you I interviewed Dr. Elizabeth Yurth a couple days ago, and her biggest thing she was talking about is she's bringing people through she's an orthopedic surgeon, is first thing she's like, don't stop moving.
Yeah, ever.
Just don't stop. Like all the stuff they used to say, she said, all that stuff about rest, no. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't ever stop. The minute you can breathe, like I was in so much pain, I couldn't breathe. And so I'm outside walking laps around the house, just like just in so much pain. And I kept walking until finally I could get a few breaths in. And then as soon as I'd have a window where the pain would calm itself down, I was doing some exercises
Well,
gently.
you look at it too, like think about what contracting, like we think of muscle as something that kind of holds everything together and helps us move. But I think of muscle, like, yes, it holds everything in tighter and boosts our metabolism. And yes, it gives carbohydrates a place to land. But the exciting thing about muscle is what happens when it contracts and all those messages going out of drop the pain, boost the immune system. Like, it's like the coolest stuff. It's like you're in there, you know, creating your own pharmacy.
Yeah, of myokines. Yeah. And this only happens when there's so many cool things when you actually squeeze a muscle from a biochemical standpoint. You have to actively squeeze the muscle. So
Yeah.
it's not about finding them, they're hunting down medications that would allow you to not exercise. And I'm like, no,
They
you're
missed it.
missing. Exactly. Like you're missing it's the actual squeezing is what does the magic. So you have to go squeeze your muscles in the gym.
I wonder if, because I've been deep down the creatine rabbit hole, and creatine does a lot for the immune system too. Like we just presented, my buddy who created creatine HCl and I presented at a conference, and he was showing creatine going after, after cancers, like creatine basically pumping up these killer cells to go after cancer. So I just
Yeah.
wonder if that would, if pumping up the dose on that, which I only use HCl because that other stuff will just make you bloated and crappy feeling. But pumping that dose up to 3 grams of HCl would help you with some of this, because it might be worth
Yeah.
trying.
No, that's a good point. You're absolutely right. Like just get the muscles to be happier and better. It's crazy. Aging is no joke, and there's no version of it where I don't know. I don't know what it was. I was not a very healthy person in my 30s, and I had a very good memory of what happened to my mom when she went through menopause. And so about 10 years prior to menopause hitting, I decided I better get my butt in the gym and start working on this. I better start building muscle because I don't want that. Like, I don't want that experience. And, vanity, but really pain and vanity are the big drivers of most people. Most people will respond to
Yeah.
pain or vanity. And when people don't, I don't know what to do for them. If I can't get them to tap into one or the other, it's very hard to get a patient to take action. And for me, it was like, I just didn't want to go through the hell that my mom went through with menopause. It was not fun to watch. And so I started training. And when people said, what are you training for? I'm like, the zombie apocalypse. Like, I'm not messing around here. And I'm not, I'm not hardcore. I can't rep out push-ups like you. And Gabrielle Lyon, you guys are hardcore. And
Gabrielle Lyon's got, I would not want to go to the gym.
she's a
with Gabrielle.
machine. I know. But I share this because I want people to know that this looks different for everyone, and that's okay too, right?
Yeah.
Like there's just a variety. You and I can work out together and have a really fun time, and we maybe aren't doing the exact same thing, but we both have.
We were pretty darn close.
We were
honey,
good.
right? You showed yourself short there. I'm like, you were killing it.
We have good stamina.
But again, I go down to what are the things that if you did these things, instead of trying to do all the things, if you just said, I'm going to get those steps in and let me check out a weighted vest. Then I said, then 2 days a week, I'm going to do some squats, some push-ups, maybe a bent over row or a deadlift, and a flexed arm hang or a pull-up. I use a band to assist because I can rep out now 10 of them, but I'm trying to do multiple sets. But you can use a band to help you so that you're pulling. You could do some farmer's carries and an overhead press. I mean, simple stuff that you don't need much equipment for at all. And to start, you can use, a few dumbbells.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. And then do a day of yoga. You can do that. You can get a little class online and do 2 days of HIIT training.
There's so much good free stuff online too. You don't have to pay for all this stuff.